everyone, welcome to Botany Insider. So in this lecture, we'll be dealing with one more topic from Unit 12, and that is genomics and its application to health and agriculture. So let's understand about that what genomics actually is. So we can say that genomics is an interdisciplinary unit of the biology that is focusing on the structure, the function, evolution, mapping and the editing of the genomes. So what is a genome now? So a genome is an organism's complete set of DNA including all of its genes. So the genomics aims at the collective characterization and the quantification of all of an organism's genes, their interrelations and their influence on the organisms. So what the genomics is actually doing is it is trying to quantify and find out the characteristics of the organism's genes. And what are genes? So genes are nothing but a bundle of information, and they are carried on from the parent generation to the next generation by the help of the meiosis process. And what is meiosis? So it is a type of a cell division about which we would be learning very soon in the future videos. So we can say that genomics is an interdisciplinary field of the biology that mainly focus on the structure, function, evolution, mapping and editing of the genomes. And what is a genome? As we have just discussed, so it is the complete set of the DNA that includes all of the genes. So genomics include the scientific study of the complex diseases such as the heart diseases, asthma, diabetes and the cancer, because these diseases are typically caused more by the combination of the genetic and the environmental factors rather than by the individual genes. So genomics is actually the scientific study in order to understand that how these particular diseases like the asthma, heart disease, diabetes and cancer, which are a major threat to the human population nowadays. So in order to understand their mechanisms and in order to make a cure for the same, so genomics is helping in that particular way. So let's understand about that what is a genome and what is genomics. So we can say that your genome is one whole set of your genes plus all the DNAs between your genes. We can see in the figure that we have this as a human cell, and in this human cell we have the chromosome, which is completely or which is a compressed form of the DNA. And how does this DNA gets compressed into a chromosome? We have already discussed about the same in the nucleosome concept. So if you have not watched that video, I will put the links of the same in the description box so that you can clear this topic also. So most cells of the human body have a complete set of the genes, and these complete set of the genes plus the DNA in between makes up the complete genome. And what is the genomics? So genomics is the study of the whole genome and how it works, but has also come to a broader meaning to include the way that the genome is interpreted and the technologies that have been developed because of it. And why we are actually studying about the genome? So we are studying about the genome in order to understand that how a disease develops and to find out the effective treatments for the same. So now let's discuss about that what is central dogma. So central dogma could be in simple words be defined as a process by which the DNA is instructed in order to convert into the final proteins, or we can say that the DNA is instructed in order to convert into a functional product. The DNA by itself cannot define about that what protein have to be made in the body, but by the help of the central dogma, the DNA is actually instructed in order to form the proteins, that is the final instructor of the product in our body. So we can say in central dogma, the DNA first gets converted into mRNA, which is the messenger RNA, and this process occurs by the help of the transcription. And after the transcription, when the mRNA is formed, now this mRNA gets converted into the protein by the help of the process of translation. We discuss about the complete central dogma, that is what is transcription, what is translation, in the future video when we would be dealing with the molecular biology in complete detail. So now let's discuss about few more points of the genomes. So as we have already discussed about, so we have a cell. What is a cell? We have discussed about it in the basics of cell. You can watch the video from the same. So in the cell we have the genome, which is the set of the genes that carry. In this genome we have the set of chromosomes. This chromosome is packed by the help of various steps. We have discussed about that how the DNA gets converted into the chromosome, or how the DNA is packed into a chromosome by the nucleosome concept. We have discussed about the same. You can watch the video. So the DNA carries the genes over it, and this is the actual molecular machine. So this molecular machine actually is helping the complete living cell and the community of cell in order to provide the instruction so that it could function in the best manner in our body. So this is how the complete mechanism occurs. So what is a chromosome now? So this chromosome is actually the combination, or it is actually the compressed form of the DNA. As you can see in the figure that the chromosome have telomeres at the ends and the centromere in the middle. We will discuss about the structure of the chromosome in the subsequent videos. And this DNA is packed into the chromosome by the help of the histones. And what are histones? So histones are actually the DNA binding proteins. So now what is the goal of the genomics that we are dealing about? So there are many goals of genomics. Some of them are, the first one is in order to sequence the genome, for mapping the genes in the genome, for the genome library preparation, for the gene expression. It is also used for the gene comparison, that is phylogenetics, and it is also used in the medical and agriculture. So at the top level we have the genomics, in which we study about the complete genome of our body. Then we have transcriptomics, in which we study about the mRNA in particular. And after the transcriptomics we have the proteomics, in which we study about the protein structure. In this we also study about the post-translational modifications and also about the metalloproteomics. And after the proteomics, below that level we have the metabolomics, that is we study about the various components that are preparing in the complete pathway, that is about glycomics, lipidomics and fluxomics, and all of these glucomics, lipidomics and fluxomics makes up the complete phenotype studies. So now let's discuss about the various types of genomics. So we majorly have 4 types of genomics. The first one is the comparative genomics, then we have mutational genomics, the third one is the structural genomics, and the fourth one is the functional genomics. So let's discuss about each one of them. So the first one is the comparative genomics. So the main aim of the comparative genomics is to compare the genomics between the various different species. For example, for better understanding the evolutionary relationships. So in this, what we are doing is, we are actually comparing the genomes of 2 different species to determine the function of each genome, that is we are studying the genes in the model organism. For example, in yeast and human. So when we would be comparing about the yeast and the human genome, so we are actually making the use of the comparative genomics in order to understand their evolutionary relationships. The second one is about the mutational genomics. So the study of the genomes in terms of the mutation that occur in an individual's DNA or the genome. So it is one of the functional aspect of the genomics. It is also referred to as the gene function determination. It aims to determine the function of the gene or any anonymous sequence that is present in that particular genome that we are focusing upon. So this is about the mutational genomics. Third one is about the structural genomics. So the main function of this, or the main aim of this particular genomics, is to determine the structure of every protein encoded by the genome. It is helpful for identifying the novel protein folds and 3D structure for a better understanding of the functions of the protein. The last one is the functional genomics. So in this, the main aim is to collect and use the data for the sequencing, for describing the gene and the protein functions, the functions of the genes and the non-gene sequence in the genome, the genes and their genetic interactions, and also genotypic to phenotypic, what the actual function is happening. We are doing it under the functional genomics. So the name of this genomics suggests their functions. The first one was comparative, in which we were comparing. In mutational genomics, we looked upon the mutations that are happening. In the structural genomics, we mainly focused upon determining the structure, and in functional genomics, we mainly aimed to find out the functions of the particular genes that we are targeting upon. So let's discuss about the genomics in healthcare. So the most important application of the genomics in the healthcare system is about, or is in the drug discovery. So what is the drug discovery process? So we mainly have a very vast method or a very vast process of this complete drug discovery. We need not to go into the detail. Let's just quickly summarize it so that we have a basic understanding of the same. The first step in the drug discovery process is about the target selection. We would be selecting the target that we want to actually target upon. Then we would be discovering about the lead that we want in order to complete the process of the drug. Then after the lead discovery, we would be jumping on to the medical chemistry. That is, we would be understanding that what is the actual medicinal chemistry of the drug that we want to develop. Then we would be doing the in vitro studies. That is, we would be trying to understand that the drug that we have created is suitable for the in vitro studies or not, and if the particular phase is passed, then the phase is moved on to the in vivo studies. So after the in vivo studies, the drug is actually passed on for the clinical trials and the therapeutics. You need not to go into the detail of the drug discovery process. I have just included it in order so that you have a basic understanding of that how a drug discovery process actually occurs. So in simple words, we can say the first step is the identification of the disease, and after that we would be discovering about the mechanism of the disease, and after the discovery of mechanism, we would be identifying the target proteins. Then we would be screening the chemical drug that we have prepared. Then we would be identifying about the most suitable drug, and this process is known as docking. And finally, after the docking process, we would have the clinical trials performed, and if the particular drug that we have created passes all the 4 clinical trials, as and when the clinical trials of the particular drug is complete, the FDA approves it, and after the approval of the FDA, what we have is the drug that we have prepared is brought to the market and is given for the marketing strategies. So this was all about the drug discovery. So what is the genomic approach of the drug discovery? So in this, how does genomic studies actually works? So in this, the genome data of the disease that we are targeting upon, we actually look at the genomic data for the same. So in this way, the genomic approach or the genomics is actually working in the drug discovery. So the genomic data is used, and then we would be going on for the functional and the comparative genomics in order to understand that what is the correlation between the any two leads or the any two drugs that we are focusing upon. And after that, we would be going for the drug target annotation. Then we would be moving forward for the functional validation. After that, the role of the target is actually identified, and then we have the sequence structure analysis, and finally we have a small drug prepared, and that is called as the lead. You need not to go into complete detail. I have not made this video for a broader understanding. I have tried just to jot down the points that are covered under this particular topic. So if you find any other points related to the same, make sure you add them. I have made this video in order so that you could have a holistic approach for this particular topic. The next bullet point is about the genomics in the crop improvement. So how does the genomics actually help in the crop improvement? So in this, what happens is that first of all we would be identifying the target of the plant that we are focusing upon. That is, if we want to target the nutrition or we want to target the production of any plant, we want to increase the production of any plant, so we would be identifying that plant, and then we would be studying about the genome of that particular plant. And after the genome study, what we would be doing is we would be using the functional and the comparative genomics. After the functional and comparative genomics, these would help us to understand about the functions and the various plants that we have taken, would us understand about the functions of the various genes that we are targeting, that is the production or the nutrition gene, and also we would be able to compare the various plants that we have identified. We could select the best possible plant, and after that we would be identifying the gene that we want to actually target. After that we would be coming up with the gene improvement strategies. That particular strategy would be validated, and finally the work would be complete. So this is the part where the genomics actually help in the crop improvement, and after this process we have various strategies for improving the crop production or the nutritional value depending upon what particular strategy we are using. So now let's understand about the methods for the crop improvement. So there are various methods. Some of them are, the first one is the modification of the culture medium. Then we can use the somatic hybridization tissue culture. The third one is about the mutagenesis, could be used both forward and reverse. So what is mutation? We have already discussed about mutation in the previous lecture. So if you have not watched it, I would put the links of the same in the description box. Then the next method that could be used is about insertion. So we could either use the agrobacterium mediated gene transformation. So what it is, we have discussed this topic also in complete detail. You can watch the video. I'll put the links in the description and all. Then we could also use the virus mediated, site directed, and also the transposon for the insertion of the targeted gene that we are focusing upon. So the various classical breeding methods that could be used are, the first one is hybridization, then we have map based cloning, and the third one is the QTL mapping. So this was all about the genomics and its importance in the healthcare and also in crop improvement. So now let's solve out one question, and also we would be saving this particular information in our notes. So the question says that choose the correct sequence of events in the next generation sequence technology based whole genome sequencing project. So we need to find out the complete sequence of the whole genome sequencing project. So the correct answer for this particular question is option C. We have not discussed about this, but I have added this question so that you can make a bullet point of the same in your notes. So the complete sequence of the events that happen in the whole genome sequencing project are, the first one is that first of all we would be extracting the DNA. The second step would be shearing. The third step would be the adapter ligation. The fourth step is the library amplification. The fifth step is sequencing. Then we assemble, finish off the complete assembly. Then the annotation is done, and finally it is submitted to the gene bank. So what we are doing is, the first one is DNA extraction. So the genome which we are focusing upon, from that a DNA is extracted, and then there occurs the shearing process. So what is shearing? So DNA shearing is an experimental process that is used to prepare the DNA for the analysis and other processing by the use of the mechanical instrument to randomly cleave the DNA. So we can say that it is an experimental process which is preparing the DNA so that the DNA could be used in the various mechanical instrument in order to randomly cleave the DNA. So the second step was shearing, and after the shearing we would be ligating the adapter. So what do we mean by adapter ligation? So in simple words we could say, so the first step was that we had collected the DNA, we have extracted the DNA, and after that we have made it, or we have prepared it so that it could be used to cleave the DNA. Now the point at which this DNA needs to be cleaved, the adapter would be ligated. Ligation means in order to attach it. And what is an adapter? So we can say adapter acts as a flag for the same, for the cleavage. So the adapter is nothing but a flag or an identification point for the cleavage. And after that we would be having the library amplification, that is the segment or the complete stretch of the DNA that we have targeted, it is amplified, the number of it is amplified, so that we could easily sequence this particular portion. After the sequencing, we would be assembling the complete DNA sequence so that it is in the readable form. So the next process would be assemblage. After that we would be completing of the process, and then we would be annotating it, that is all the short forms, all the abbreviations that have been put marked, they are actually annotated, the complete information is actually provided underneath. And finally what happens is that the complete DNA sequence that we have extracted and made the information from the same, it is submitted to the gene bank. So this is the complete process, or this is the complete steps that are used for the whole genome sequencing project. Make sure you add the same points in your notes itself, so that if you find any such question in the future, you could easily solve out this question. So with this, we're done with the complete topics of genomics and its usage in the improvement of the healthcare and the crop management. So thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please do like, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. And also I'll be coming up very soon with more informative videos as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.